How's everybody doing? Positive and productive. I hope. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking with me. Do me a favor, share the content with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections. Dollars are stronger than votes. Ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to let you guys be privy of a little bit of a conversation that was on X and just some of the banter, the rhetoric, and different things that were said. So I'm not going to preface it. I'm just going to allow you guys to just listen in on this conversation. Do with it as you will. A few people are going to speak before me. Hopefully you got the attention span a little bit longer than a goldfish, and you'll listen in for more than about 2 or 3 minutes, and then you'll get to my submission. I think my submission is really good, which is the reason why I'm doing this. If you agree with my submission being really good, drop some purple hearts in the comment section because it really does a lot for the algorithm. We highly appreciate it. Let's jump into this.
Changed the law in 2008. The law states as of 2008 that you are a depositor. They are the custodian. And I was so blind to it. I was this years old basically when I learned that custodian in the financial world means that you own and control. And I thought custodian meant you're a janitor. No, not in the banking world. We're just depositors. They legally after 2008 can bail in themselves in the event of a crisis. So that means they physically take the money that our account name has in our name, but we're just depositors. They're the controller because they're the custodian, and they can legally do it, and they have been doing it. So in like Cyprus, Greece, other countries, and we just think it's never going to happen to us because we're that arrogant. But go ahead to Choosta. I know you're about to cook.
Mason jars in the backyard are looking better and better.
Man, get everything in a trust. Get everything in a trust. Everything.
No, facts. And I just sent the code to the Choosta as well if he can hear us. You know, it's a whole glitch in the glam with this shit. So Call of Duty status, you can't accept it from the triangle, you gotta accept it from the square. And then once you hit the square, you know, give it 30 seconds before it kicks in, and then the grenade will drop. Oh, man. This is gonna be fun, I ain't gonna lie. Explaining people how to grab codes, Call of Duty style.
Yeah, no, I'm aware of the glitch. You know, I've been backlogging some of this code really quickly. I'm actually trying to help people fix this glitch, and we're doing beta testing in some other places too as well. But one thing I want to say really quickly, right, is that I don't know if you guys remember, maybe it didn't happen to your grandmother, but it happened to a lot of grandmothers where they were going to the bank and they were going to Walmart and they were removing all their money because they got tricked by the antivirus. Microsoft called grandma and told grandma that her bank was being hacked and she needed to get all of her money out. So when grandma went to go deposit all of her money, withdraw it, and the scammers were taking it, the bank said, wait a minute, hold on, ladies and gentlemen. We got to do something because there's a lot of people being scammed and they're taking out all of their money. So now we need to make sure you understand what exactly you're doing when you're doing this money. Matter of fact, I went to Walmart the other day and a lady was trying to put money, and the lady said, she got upset with the woman at Walmart because she said, ma'am, they're scamming you. Call these people. This is a scam, ladies and gentlemen. But she didn't want to believe it. She said, you know what? It's my money. It's my money, and you need to listen to me because the customer is always right. Because the customer is always right, correct? So now, ladies and gentlemen, just really quickly, and I understand that crypto is a scam, that anything could be a scam, ladies and gentlemen, because here's the thing. I know people who got scammed out of deeds to a house, and you would never think that real estate is a scam, but talk to the people who suffered black redlining and different things of that nature, right? So now, really quickly, because the Lakers play at crypto.com arena, and I always wonder, why are the Lakers playing at crypto.com? Because I didn't think it was a scam, but now when you see the NBA and they're doing air balls and it's almost like I'm watching a WNBA and I'm still paying my money, maybe it is a scam, maybe it's not. That's neither here nor there. But now here's the funny thing, because now I know that I can grow a fruit and a vegetable myself. See, I don't have to go to the Piggly Wiggly and tell them to cut the ribs. I can go to the delicatessen because my uncle used to own one, and I could tell him to make them kosher or do them halal the way I want them to, and you don't have to put any trans fats on them. But that's okay, because now I gotta go to the store and buy it. So now, Choosta, what are you talking about? I thought you were talking about crypto. Yes, because if you understand how to butcher your own animal and raise that own animal, oh shit, the blockchain is infallible because you can read it and you can learn it, and you don't have to use his blockchain. You don't have to go to his store and buy his ribs. You can grow your own ribs. Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, you can create your own blockchain blockchain in your own cryptocurrency and create your own secular economy that will insulate you against fiat currency. It is not to get away or do away with fiat currency. It is to insulate you against it. It's almost like an investment asset, ladies and gentlemen, but we don't understand what true assets are, because the assets we think we have, they're losing money. You told me I have cash assets, but last time I looked at the APY on most banks, you're losing money when you look at inflation. So how are you telling me cash is an asset? Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have to understand now, and I'm going to yield with this right here really quickly. The last thing we have to understand is that if you don't have the knowledge to possess it, there always will be people who will manipulate the weaker, the ignorant, and or the less fortunate. And that's anywhere you go. That's the medical field. That's the food industry. That's logistics, ladies and gentlemen. That is anything you are into. People will prey on you if you don't know. So now I ask people this one question. Are you going to be a wolf or are you going to be a sheep, ladies and gentlemen?
Absolutely. And as the wolf speaks, I'm going to say the rest of y'all are moving like sheep behind crypto because you don't want to admit that you're broke and you need the outlet that's going to be brought from this fallacy called cryptocurrency that couldn't even tell you where it originated from or who the founder was. And that's the problem with me, because people in society had no problem with bartering until somebody manipulated them into believing they needed money. And then after the money got shitty, then they had to get manipulated further into cryptocurrency. And that's the transparency. And that's the part that makes me laugh at today's date, because everybody that survived before crypto's existence is literally trying to say now that this is the saving grace of humanity. And it's just delusion. It's delusion at its finest, because how in the hell was humanity thriving before technology for people to tell you it's only going to stay existent with technology? Like I said, we got people literally running around saying explain or embrace something that has no foundation, origin, or face to let people know is trustworthy. The number one cryptocurrency in the globe is Bitcoin. Satoshi Nakamoto. No face, no bio, no aliases, no existence. People trust it. When did we start doing this as human beings? This is the problem. This is why I challenge crypto with no issue, no effort, because not one crypto individual has sat here and told me they know the face of the maker. The barter system has a face of a maker. Humans traded through that tradition. Cryptocurrency is not a human tradition. It's an agenda. And if you don't understand that,
it's to protect him from the government.
Exactly.
You got to keep him protected from the government, of course.
So why does he need protection from what was supposed to be something good? Unless you telling us it's bad and you're extorting that without saying you're extorting it, and you're just telling other folks you can see it one way or another, or greed could blind you. Because I see crypto.
And if anyone thinks the government's going to let the people create and run their own currency, you're out of your mind.
Hell no.
They would never let it happen.
It's governed.
Unless they took control of it and let it happen.
Which might be what they're
down
doing.
to the IP address, it's governed. So
this is exactly right, man. This is what I've been trying to say for so fucking long. People are like, well, it's untraceable. This is how we escape the government's power and influence. We just switched to crypto. They can't monitor it. Motherfucker, do you really think that they can monitor the dollar bill in your pocket? Let's not forget that they just retired the penny. How long until it's the dollar bill that's gonna be retired? You think they don't want you to switch to crypto? They can monitor that shit like white on rice, bro. And they don't put in God, and they don't put in God we trust on Bitcoin.
Do you remember in 2008 when they redistributed, they had to inject so much liquidity from the 2008 crisis, because remember, the money's not physically real. There's so much of it, as stated earlier, there's trillions of it in the M2 money supply, that they have to print it continuously because there's so much of it. And when you print something over and over again, it devalues it. It's not rare. It's oversaturated. The basic law of supply and demand will tell you if you have 1,000 bajillion grains of sand, it's free because there's so much of it. So that's what's happening to the money. They're printing it. And remember, they redesigned the look of the money back in 2008, 2009. Remember how everyone was like, this legit looks like Monopoly money. It's funny. And then they started changing. So immediately after 2008, that housing crisis happened. And boom, 2015, the bond market shut down. And then they started the RDFI chips and all the credit cards and debit cards. Remember that? And you would have your card and go to the Kroger or the Walmart, and you didn't know if you were supposed to swipe or insert or wave or what. Nobody knew. And that was 2015, and they did that and didn't tell a soul about that. Like, that just happened. So they are doing another monetary system reset, guys. And the things, like, we touched on it in another space, and I'm going to touch on it again, so I'm sorry if I sound like totally a broken record, but this is about ownership. They are eroding away our ownership, subscription at a time, no more physical media at a time. No one has DVDs, CDs. Nobody keeps pictures, physical pictures in an album anymore. It's on my phone. No, it's not. It's in cyberspace. It's in digital metaland. It's not, if you don't own it, it's not yours or mine. If we don't create an alternative to the system, we will be crushed by the system. We have given them permission to feed us when we have to go to a grocery store every day to eat.
And just to back you
when
up
we
on
don't
that,
give them that anymore.
Then we're going straight to the Choosta after this before I wrap it up for the morning on these current events. This is why I'm so big on independence versus the dependence, because crypto is a dependent tradition. It's a part of dependency. The crypto community does not exist without dependency. And the independent nature, the value of the cash, it's not a... tradition didn't mean
it works when the lights turn off, right?
Tradition meant ownership of items. The assets were owned items that you could pass down to be used by other people in your family and generation. We've completely gotten away from that shit. Like, no, we bought this old school because we knew it was going to go all the way to grandson's goddamn graduation. And the value of this old school is because it's going to last all the way till they cross the stage. We've gotten away from that area aspect of asset materialization to digital, what the fuck we can't even prove exists. And we're waiting. We're waking up daily stressing ourselves over global blackouts at this point. Do we not realize the last thing we had to worry about back in the day was a blackout because everything wasn't technologically advanced and being charged with lithium batteries and shit. We literally had a world where we walked and everything you got, you owned, and you didn't have to worry about it failing because it didn't require all of this unnecessary juice. I don't get it. You know what
The best thing to happen to us might be a few limited range EMPs, truthfully.
I honestly think...
Man, those old diesel trucks are looking better and better.
It would be the best thing to happen to us, but also the worst for those who were raised in the era of technology, which really starts Y2K. And to 26 years of people raised into the adaptation of dependability on technology. That's 26 years of depending on Y2K. That's where I'm trying to get people to catch up. Remember, 1999, because in 89, it was 10 years of accredited development. Then it was 99 all the way till now, where it was computer love. Go ahead, Choosta.
Yeah, you know, I'm glad you brought up Y2K and things that preceded COVID. I'm glad you did that because somebody said, well, if it was good for the United States or if it was good for people, you would just put your face and your name on it. Well, I don't know if you guys remember a guy named Eric Snowden. Oh my God, he told us the government is doing the craziest things that they're saying they're not doing to us. And I have the proof in the documents that the government is doing it. You know what? Just in case, because I'm telling you the truth, I'm not going to even release it with my name. Matter of fact, I'm going to give this to Glenn Greenwald and I'm going to let some other people handle this. And you know what happened, ladies and gentlemen, when you release the truth to the American people? Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, hellfire and brimstone will rain upon your head. So now, when I'm only telling you the truth as to what someone is doing, because I was told the truth could set you free, right? So now imagine what would happen if I gave you the truth of not just fiat currency, because a lot of people didn't understand what happened when Nixon took us off the gold standard, because we understand that the gold is not in Fort Knox, we get it, but now what is this fiat currency? Because you're telling me that that crypto's not backed by nothing, but fiat is only backed by a promise of the government. A promise of who? The government, the people that's been lying to me from day one. So I'm supposed to take their promise for something? Okay, but we all do anyway. Now here is the funniest part, right? Because now we live in a digital world, but I want to go back to the days of yesteryear. Now here's the funniest thing. Even Rusty mentioned to it, Bitcoin actually work when the lights go out, but that's neither here nor there. The important part about this is actual digital bartering, ladies and gentlemen, because we could trade lease, we could trade coins, but here's the thing. How do I know that you don't go find some puka shells that I was using and you copy them and now you got some counterfeits? Like, how do I know you don't do that, right? Because I want to barter and trade with you, but we got to make sure you just don't go print more puka shells. So we got to have some protections against these puka shells that make sure, like with fiat currency, we don't just print money out of thin air again, right? So now everybody has their crypto, it's encrypted and protected. But now let's go to this digital owner asset, because remember when we used to pause the game, when mama said go take out the trash and you could pause the game and you could save all your information, but you can't save the game no more. What are you talking about? That's why we're live streaming, because it's all on their servers. Like Rusty said, everything goes directly into Metaspace. You think it's the metaverse, but I'm going to just tell you it's in a different dimension. Maybe I'm telling the truth, maybe you're right, we don't know, but I'll tell you what, quantum teleportation is a key now. So now what are we doing? What the hell is going on in the world we living in? Do we really want to go back to trading physical puka shells when we know that people are actually doing quantum teleportation? Or do we actually want to have the things that could quantum be teleported? Because last time I heard Black Hawk down and all the Israeli people were running off with all the stuff, I don't want my assets to be seized by my enemies just in case I lose it. Because if I lose my wallet, I gotta call Chase. And last time I tried to talk to Chase, I was talking to an Indian guy who didn't understand what I was talking about when I said I need to cancel my card because I lost my wallet. So now my assets are running around. I don't know who has them, and you can. Okay, never mind. I'll yield.
See, I mean,
And he said his name was George, and it was Ramesh Patel.
So hopefully you guys enjoyed this, ladies and gentlemen. There's more to it. There's a little bit more to it, and as you can see, we didn't even start this at the beginning. But I do appreciate you guys for sticking with me. We have great conversations. It's great content. Hopefully you guys were able, I call it serious satire. I kind of want to give you guys a little glimpse of what some of the stuff that I do, what I'm known for on X and other places. So I'm known for my rants, my explanations, and putting things in a proverbial sense, and still using a lot of metaphors and innuendos. So saying it without saying it, so to speak. So shout out to Black Wolf, who was the host of this space. If you're not following Black Wolf or the Black Wolf Party, make sure you're doing so. Make sure you're following Miss Rusty Shacklefer, great person, mother, Christian, patriot, etc., etc. And there are a few other people in the room that you should follow as well too when you see their names, different things of that nature. But again, if you enjoyed this content, ladies and gentlemen, put a purple heart in the comment section, because I'll release more of the content and content like this. But I got to know what you guys are actually liking, rocking with, and different things of that nature. So that's why I always implore you guys to drop purple hearts in the comment section. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think, thoughts, improvements, future videos you want us to do comments on. And then also, I tell you guys to really come to X, because a lot of the conversations are uncensored, unbridled, and untethered over there. So, and I can break that down in a few different things, but just realistically, you could say what's on your mind. We listen and we don't judge. So realistically, over here on X, we allow people to say some outlandish things, and we allow them to get their viewpoints and their thoughts out. I'm not going to say we don't judge, but at least we do listen, right? We're going to allow you to say everything it is you need to say without cutting you off, without yelling at you or cutting down your throat. So again, I appreciate everybody who's a part of this conversation or that conversation. I appreciate everybody who's listening to my conversation of the conversation. Again, I implore you to share it with friends, family, anybody that you think the content is relevant to. Again, before I go into the whole spiel, one of the main reasons why I do this is because I think we, the people, need to have conversations about what the hell is going on so we can come up with a consensus about where we want to go and how we want to get there. So at the end of the day, fundamentally, I think we all want the same things. We want homes, we want jobs, we want lower prices, lower taxation, etc., etc. Different things. We all can say we want the same things universally. However, the methodology in which we get there or we do to achieve these methods, I think that's the conversation in which we need to have. So again, I appreciate everybody. Please stay positive. Please stay productive. Remember, local elections are more important than national elections, but dollars are stronger than votes. They won't stop until we stop them. Liberation comes at a cost. Who's willing to pay for it?